Hello there, this is Eric, and I'm just got my Oculus Go, and I'm just going to do a quick live stream to show some of the things that I've already created that might be used. People that are creators, people looking to create things for VR and AR. So let's go back to my menu here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the browser. And look, it's one of my own 360 videos I took last year at a academic conference in Beppu, Japan. And I'm going to see if I can play this in 360, which I've already done, and I think it works quite well. There it goes. Now, the buffering for this takes quite a long time. You notice there's the graininess. Oh, there it goes. Because it's ultra high def just to get a certain low version of this. There I am. So this is my 360 camera. It's a the camera itself is a Kodak. It's called the Orbit 360. And the resolution of this video is about 1440 by 720. So there's basically two conjoining videos that are stitched together live for this. This particular conference was in Beppu, Japan, mid last year. And I was talking about design definitions and principles for using augmented reality, not virtual reality, in tourism. Now that we're in 360 mode, let's see if I can just get out. Not quite sure how this looks in the live stream version. So you notice when I'm looking at it in virtual mode, I have a virtual window in front of me where the video is actually in cubic form. So it's not really, when you're looking at it at a desktop, it's not going to be in this form at all. It's going to be in a tour form where you can kind of just swipe around and look from left to right and up and down. Stereoscopic 3D does not look correct. No. You have to match these up to the actual contents itself. So we'll go back to 360 here, and this is the correct version. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and get out of this. It looks like you can't scrub or anything while you're in 3D mode. You'd have to get out again and scrub, which is a little bit disappointing if you want to keep in the environment while you experience the 3D video. Let's go back. I'm going to go back to browsing. And I have going to go to something I've created already a couple years ago, a VR tour. There it is. I created this using a program called Panel 2 VR. This is for a talk I did at TED Summit in 2016. You notice that this is an interactive tour. It's got video and things in it. This is my old university in Fukushima. So this is also in a virtual screen. I'm going to try and attempt to see if I can do, this is full screen on this one. So this is a kind of like a campus tour I created, I think about 3 years ago. And I added video and other elements. This is just me standing in front of the university telling you how to experience this VR tour. Oh, hey Marasa, how you doing? So I'm going to try and see if I can do this in 360 mode. That works out. Doesn't quite align. Can't see. Oh, I can't see the video, but it doesn't look quite right, does it? I need to get out of that. So this is the entrance hall. I'm going to kind of move on in. Now I've scaled this back to a virtual window in front of me, even though I'm wearing a 3D standalone visor. And I'm just scrolling along. You see this little icon here. I'm clicking and dragging just to move things around in front of me. I'm not actually viewing this particular scene in 360. So I'm just looking at a big screen in front of me and experiencing this. It almost looks like a theater size, like something's about 200 inches, about 3 feet away from me. This is some more 3D content that I created for this tour. This is sort of a kind of a VR scavenger hunt I created for students to come in, kind of explore the area physically and virtually at the same time. Get to see some students, some contents that are actually in the school. Maybe we can go down the hall and see what's down here. This is actually a class I was teaching at the time. They were helping me create some 360 stuff. There's a hint for some of the contents. Let's go back out. Maybe go up a floor. You notice these little flashing icons here. Those are custom. I programmed those in using this software. You can go in the elevator here too, I think. Going down the hall. Maybe we can go into a classroom. I'm going to see if some of these interactive elements I put into here actually work. Here we go. I replaced the whiteboard with an actual image. I believe audio is supposed to be playing here, but it's not. I don't hear it. Maybe it's due to the live streaming. Again, this is I use a software called Pano 2 VR. It's by a company called Color, or Color, C-O-L-O-R. And, oh, you see me peeking around the corner here. Let's go ahead and see what's in this classroom. There we go. Let's see, this maybe is another video I put into this 360 environment as a hint as part of this virtual tour. Right. If anyone's ever visited some of my breakout EDU sessions, they'll recognize this content. Up here on the wall also, I put the Wikipedia page that corresponds to the what they're talking about in this video. So quipi, it's the ancient Incan form of communication using knots in ropes and different colored ropes. Kipu, yeah. See if I could. Can't really read this, and you can't expand it out. I remember in desktop form this is easily read, but in VR mode this doesn't look like it's useful. You can scroll up and down at least on it though. So you can see how I designed this VR tour. You could actually go in and out of the rooms and see different content as if you were going to different classrooms to see different stuff. Now let's go back out, maybe try a different classroom. Question down below, I see. Did you pay for Pano 2 VR? No, yes, I did pay for a commercial license. I don't remember how much it was, and I don't even know if I recommend it now because when I bought it, it was 3 years ago, and I don't know. I haven't used it in at least 2 years. Google's got their new tool creator out. It can't do all the same things, but there are a lot of different other 360 tour creating software out there now. I can share those later. Oh, yep, in this room, I remember now. This is all about Father Vint, one of the creators of the internet. So if you haven't noticed by now, the theme of this kind of VR scavenger hunt was different mediums of communication. So right before we saw the quipu and the old Incan form of tying knots, now we're looking at the first usage of the internet for communication. Well, it's good to know about Pano 2 VR. Someone just commented that they have some colleagues still using it, which is good. It's not hard to make things using it. I remember very much. This particular tour, I think I put it together in, I think, 2 days. And most of that time was just going out because you have to physically go to each location and take 360 photos. That was the majority of the time, and kind of map out where you want to go. And then putting the contents in the rooms was probably only a quarter of the work. And then distributing it also is sometimes hard. When at this particular time, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, we were using cardboard, and at that time, not all of the devices were supporting it. So I had to, oh, you can see my butt, that's my butt around the corner. It's really funny when you go and you take these 360 photos and you try to make it so you're not seen, but sometimes you look at it after the fact and you're like, oh, you can see me around the corner or something like that. And other times you can tell I want to blatantly be in the 360 photo as well. I'm gonna hop in the elevator here and then go up and down. Let's go up to the 5th floor. I think that's where my office is. Come up to the 5th floor here. Yep, great. So talking about RGP, let's go take a look at this beautiful view in Fukuchiyama. this is the one thing I miss about working at this university is from the view from my office is spectacular. This is Fukushima. If you can see way out here in the distance, that's the Fukushima Castle. And play a video here that I created actually for another project called Forever Kyoto. It's all about trying to share the beauty and interesting culture of Japan outside of Kyoto City in the little less known regions in the countryside regions that don't have enough advertising power on their own. You can check that out at another time if you'd like. The lighting is very important when you do the 360 stuff too, because you notice the light, it's the same lighting that it was over next to the windows as it is here, but there was just so much more light coming from the windows that it made this area here look very dark and it's almost invisible to the camera. So here you notice I put myself in the photo because I actually wanted people to go down this. So I wanted to, if I wasn't standing here, you wouldn't be invited so much to go down this hall because one of the main hints for this particular VR scavenger hunt was in the front of my office, which is at the end of the hall. See here. So here's the entrance to my office. Nice TEDx logo there. And I pulled out my whiteboard from my office to offer a cipher for some codes that are in other parts of the VR tour. So you can see that this is just a ABCD cipher for Egyptian hieroglyphics. Again, this whole scavenger hunt is based on modes of communication. So you have to use that at different parts of the hunt itself. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I don't know how this exactly looks. Let's see if I can change resize it in VR mode. And basically it's just resizing it as it would look on a mobile browser or a tablet or on a PC. And then full screen takes out all the other UI options and just concentrates on the screen itself. And what you can do in YouTube is change it to 360, but there must be some update that needs to happen, at least for maybe Gear VR or Oculus Go, because this does not line up perfectly, and it's actually quite disorientating to look at this in 360 mode. Maybe I can try 360 stereoscopic mode. Oh, geez, that's even worse. I'm going to have a seizure if I stay with that one too long. Let's see, let's go back. Oh, I can only see this with one eye right now. Change it to 3D. Nope, that doesn't work either. Let's go back to 2D. All right, let's get out of there and go back to .360 video. And YouTube videos work great. Kind of just showed this before though, so if you could take this into full screen, takes a long time to buffer that large video though. It's like double, it's almost 4K video. See these cards on the ground here, that's part of my orientation project, where I'm putting augmented reality, an easy way to create augmented environments for tourism and education into the hands of students and non-techies. It's been working out pretty great. If you want to go back and watch this whole thing later, it's available on YouTube. It's on my personal YouTube channel. It's in 3 parts. It's another thing about putting up 360 video. The files are so large that I had to break it up into 3 parts to give me because I didn't want to sit down and I wanted to finish each upload. I didn't want to come back and upload it again, so I had to break it up into 3 parts because the files were so large and upload them separately. And at the time, I'm not sure if you can do it now, it's hard to stitch them together using YouTube's own creator software. But they have updated some stuff since then, so maybe I could try that again. So if you're just joining us, we are just checking out the Oculus Go and so what it can do. And I'm looking at some of my other VR and AR contents through Oculus Go to see how well it's compatible and how well it works with some of this stuff. A couple of things that I just checked out already. Oculus Video, big screen, which I've already used on the Vive. Their Netflix app, which is basically just a virtual screen for their content. It's decent, and a couple of roller coaster stuff that I checked out as well. Setting up the Vive was not bad at all. It used Bluetooth to pair to my Android device. And you of course have to download an app to your Android device to get started, which is the Oculus app. You pair that with your Oculus Go, and then you pair it with Bluetooth, and then you can get it on your Wi-Fi systems, and then it took maybe 15 minutes to update software. And then it was ready to go. There was a short, maybe 30-second tutorial about how to use the systems. I can tell now, see, I'm already at 70% of battery, and I've been going for, less than an hour, I think. I've been using it for about 30 minutes. They advertised about 3-hour battery time on some of the reviews I saw. And I guess that's about right. I am live streaming at the same time, so I'm spinning up a lot of different radios on it. So this is probably a heavy use case right now. So now about the viewing and controllers. So this is only rotational viewing. This is only 4 degrees of freedom, so I can look up, I can look down. Right now, we're in Monument Valley of my home state of Arizona. I've actually been here once. It's a beautiful place. You can look up, down, left, right, but you cannot move forward, back, or left or right in 3D space. So I recommend only getting this if you intend to sit down and play stuff. I've already seen some add-ons elsewhere where you can add in motion sensing to go forward and back, but still, some people are gonna get really sick using this, and I have already a few times gotten a little motion sickness because it doesn't have that 6 degrees of freedom. And a couple of the standalone headsets that have come out have that 6 degrees of freedom. One of them being the Lenovo Mirage that just came out a while back, and hopefully I'm going to be getting one of those as well. You can go, one of the things, I took a couple screenshots, and one of them is I created my own kind of hangout room. Oculus has this tool called Oculus Rooms. You can play games in it, and I put up some of my own images because it's owned by Facebook. You can import your own pictures from Facebook and put them on the wall in your room as well. Actually, let's see if we can go to my room right now and check that out. One of the interesting things about this live stream, I've noticed that there is a red dot that's flashing in the top right corner of my view. And I thought at first it was to let me know that where my vision was for live stream, but of course, like any recording, it's just letting me know that I'm being live streamed and I'm being recorded. So this is my room, and I've already kind of customized it. I changed the background, the outside view. And there's 3 basically stations here. There's a media station. Over here we have a game station. And I just kind of put some of my own images up on the walls. So first, let's maybe go over to the image, the media station. So you can play Facebook videos that are in your own Facebook profile, or you can play some live music. Let's play some classical music maybe. So if I invite people in from Facebook that are already on the Oculus platform, they can come in here and enjoy the music with me. And then you could go in here and share your Facebook photos and videos as well with your friends as you sit in this room. It'd be nice if you could use other platforms too, such as YouTube or and there's a gaming table here. Most of these are kind of like Hasbro type games, right? You can play checkers with other people around in the room. Lights, they call this lights, but this is Simon Says. Right? Simon Says game. So basically it's these other 4 chairs around here. And if other people were to join into the room, they'd be sitting at this table. Oh, that just crashed out. It was pretty disorientated for a little while. I'm not even sure if I'm still live streaming. Well, I got the red dot. Looks like I still am. Oculus Rooms just crashed, not before almost giving me a seizure because it was jumping left and right over the screen. Let's recenter our screen here. So talking about the controller again, I don't know if you can see this, what I'm looking at. There is a motion controller that comes with it. It has a D-pad, it has a back button, it has a home button, and it has a trigger. One thing about it is it senses motion up, down, left, right, and rotational motion, but it's not relative to your body. So not unlike the HTC Vive and other outside-in tracking devices, where that controller is actually relative to its physical space. So like right now, I put it down on the ground and it looks like it's just right there in front of me. I have to find it back down on the ground again and pick it up. And it looks like I feel like when I'm holding it, I feel like I'm a Tyrannosaurus Rex with baby arms, because it's not at all the length of which I'm holding it in real form in relation to my body. So that's one of the kind of the limitations, of the drawbacks of this type of kind of just motion sensing and 6 degrees of freedom. What I've gotten from this type of setup now is that this is great for consumption. So like this is like the iPad of computing, right? So if you want to do some sculpting, or you want to walk around in 3D worlds, you're going to need that 6 degrees of freedom. And I haven't quite yet used a system where a standalone version is great for that. I'm just going to go into big screen. Big screen I've used on the Vive, HTC Vive, and it's great because, like the Oculus rooms, you can just go into and create your own room, and then you can actually share and collaborate on any desktop. So you can share your desktop screen if someone's using it with a PC, or in this case, you have different rooms and lobbies. You can join different friends and you can watch TV together as if you were in the same living room. There's my avatar. I haven't even created him yet. Huh. There we go. It's good enough. Oh, it's just crashing out again. Oh man! Before that crashes out, it's really painful to my eyes. That's the second time that it's crashed. Not quite sure. Maybe it's because I'm live streaming with it. Oh, there it goes again. It's crashing. Oh, crashed again. This time in the regular UI before anything was loaded up. And now the orientation is all messed up again. Let's see if I can fix that. Okay, just a couple more things before I get off, because it's crashing. I want to look into, see if that's a thing that's happening a lot with the live streaming. About the controller, right? You can scroll using the D-pad on the top with your thumb. So I'm just scrolling back and forth with that. It's very natural, very intuitive for menus, for VR menus, 3D menus. And if you want to lay down, you can just look up into the sky and then hold down the D-pad, and there you go. You put your menus up in the sky. So now I can actually go down and look at the Arizona view in Monument Valley here. And then I can put my head back on my chair and just kind of relax and look up, and then control it as if I were. This is just for the menus, though. This doesn't translate to the content in every application. So this is not universal. All right. So I'll go put it back down. All right, we'll try this one more time, and then if it crashes, then I'm going to get out. Yep. That doesn't seem to be working very well. Not quite sure why. My home Wi-Fi should be strong and fine. I don't think there's an issue there. You can change the environment for your home screen to different things. Oh, that's another shot from Arizona. Oh, I know this one too. This is the Colorado River between the Nevada and Arizona borders. I've been here too. This one's cool too. Anyway, if you're just joining us, we're looking at the Oculus Go and kind of showing off some of the AR and VR contents that I've already created to see how it's compatible, and some of the good stuff and the not so good stuff about having an Oculus Go. But although it is exciting to have nice standalone versions, so our research group this weekend is going to a conference in Tokyo, and so I don't have to I'm not going to drag my VR rig and my Oculus Go and my lighthouses all the way up there. I can just grab this. It's going to be a lot more convenient to bring some of my AR and VR content to show off at conferences and things like that. So that's great. But from how it's worked out today, not all of that stuff is directly compatible. So more in the future, I'll probably hopefully be sharing some of the ways that we're going to have to either Oculus is going to start supporting these other forms, or how we're going to have to change or adapt our contents for the Oculus Go in particular. All right, guys. I'm going to stop the stream and get back to work. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully see you guys online. If you have any other questions and or comments, please let me know. All right. Bye, guys.